Since we kind of got on the mic placement and amp placement and the type of the room, so we have the room that's real live, that's reflective. The bathroom would be great. If, for example, in the bathroom, let's talk about miking for a moment in that type of situation. So if you got it sitting on the commode or in the bathtub or somewhere, how are you going to mic that amplifier? Would you use one mic close, one in the corner, or a combination of the both?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. The thing is, with a really, I find with a really live room, like for instance a bathroom, sometimes having a mic up close can be enough because there's so much reflected sound coming back in.
Got it.
Anyways, but I always like to put a mic out in the room, and that's something that we blues guys like to do. That a lot of, a lot of more, let's say, generic studio engineers might not be that. It might not occur to them,
Uh-huh.
you know.
And we call that ambient miking, is that correct?
Yeah, ambient miking, yeah. Because, I mean, except for very few people, nobody listens to an amp with their ear right on it. We listen out in the room. So you want to put a mic there too. But there's another thing, which is the when you hear an amp in the room, you hear, that sounds great to me. You put the mic there, and when you play it back, it could be too ambient or too muddy. And that's the reason why I like the combination of the two mics. Your ears have, something that a microphone doesn't have, and that's a brain attached to it. And your brain naturally knows which sounds to focus on and which to kind of filter out. A microphone doesn't. So when you're at a spot where it sounds good to you, you put a microphone there, it's not going to hear it in necessarily the same way. So that's why with recording you want to put something that might be unnaturally close and combine it with something that's kind of far away, and if you can blend the two to where it's starting to sound like what you heard when you were in the room, that's when you get in there. And there's another trick I want to let people know about too, which is this is a random Audio-Technica mic that was here, but it applies to this as well. And that is, there's something with microphones called the proximity effect, which means as you get real close up on a microphone, there's actually an increase in bass frequencies. That's for most microphones. And what this means is actually, if you have a small amp like a Fender Champ or a Kalamazoo or something like that, it's not a bad idea to take one of the mics you use to mic it and push it up as close to the speaker as you can get it. It's to some it's kind of counterintuitive because you think, I want a more natural room sound out of the amp. Well, you add another mic for that room sound, and then take that close mic and just jam it right up on there, and it'll actually kind of give it a big bass boost, which will make a little amp sound like a very big muscular amp.
Yeah, just like we do when we hold a bullet microphone, that same proximity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
When you are miking the speaker, are you going for the edge, the center of the speaker, the center of the paper, the outer ring, I guess, or the swath of material that goes around, the donut shape, I guess. You can tell I thought about this a lot before I asked it. Or right in the center, which is essentially a dust cover for or is it experiment?
It's experiment, and it's I don't have a set rule for that. If I don't like how it sounds, I might try and move it a little bit before I try anything else. But it depends a little bit on how the guy is sounding already. If it's very distorted and muddy, I might actually go for closer to the center where it's more direct and articulated sounding. If it's kind of bright, then I might move it out a little bit.
Got it. Great.
And and you don't necessarily need really expensive mics to get a good harp sound. When a 57 will work fine. I tell you, when I did that album with Dennis Grunling and Kim Wilson played harp, he actually showed me how he likes to mic his harmonica. I don't know if I should divulge this information. No big deal.
Please.
No, so he, what he liked was he had a small amp. I forget what it was. He got a lot of amps, but he took the mic he used. It was not a 57. He used a 58, SM58, which you see. You know, there's like 12 of them at every club you've been in your life, and they can withstand being dropped from an airplane. And he had that right up on the speaker, and then we also had a condenser mic, a little more sensitive mic like this, that was in the room, actually quite high up. And the third mic was his vocal mic, which was right in front of him and picking up the acoustic harmonica sound. And that's the three mics he liked to blend to get his sound. At the time, I only had an 8-track tape machine, and
Using 3 for harp.
I was using 3 for harmonica. Yeah. So I remember Bob Welsh and Rusty Zinn had to share a track. I had to take a mic that was bipolar, what do you call it? Bidirectional. Yeah, that's what it is, and jam it in between their 2 guitar amps. To make room for all those harmonica mics. One mic on the drums,